Good morning, everyone. We waited a couple of minutes just in case other people straggled in because we had much larger attendance last week. On Thursday, we had to postpone the meeting. Thank you, Billy, for coming. Thank you, Waste Pro, Jason, commissioners, Quadra. Biggest concern is that we wanted to have a meeting again with Waste Pro about the lack of service that we're receiving from you guys. This is not the first meeting. We've had meetings probably every other month for the last couple of years where I've been voicing my concerns of missed service and bad service. Last time we met, Billy, I told you that I feel that we're being treated like a redhead stepchild, that we're not receiving the quality of service that everybody else does. We made sure to have a public meeting because otherwise we could only invite a commissioner rather than all commissioners. As a public meeting, all the commissioners can be here. Every single time that we have a public meeting, we have a commission meeting, the commissioners are voicing their discontent at your service. Last month when we implemented the budget, we tried to raise the franchise fees on the garbage to $439 in case we would end up going back to county services rather than a private hauler. That was not accepted, so we're still in the situation where we're still with a private hauler, but here and openly and in front of everybody, basically what I'd like to say is that the company's put on notice. All the commissioners are irate. We've already discussed it with the attorney. He's looking at the contract. Every time that you guys lack service, if you miss a house, it's $50. If you miss this, we are going to start doing it because either we get the service that we deserve and we're paying for, or we're going to do everything possible to get out of this contract. It is a public meeting. I don't know if anybody wants to discuss anything. It's open forum. Anybody can jump in. When we met last, Billy, we kept telling you it's concerns and concerns and concerns. Right before the storm, there was probably 25 blocks that the service wasn't picked up. You guys didn't pick up the green cans, the regular curbside pickup one day, the recycling the following day. On a weekly basis, there's bulk waste pickup that doesn't get picked up. Then we start getting complaints from the residents that the city looks like shit. They're supposed to pick up on Mondays, on Tuesdays they're still here picking up, on Wednesdays they're still here picking up. It doesn't help us any to try to fix a situation when you guys don't complete your route on Monday and you start running into Tuesday. Then we continue with the residents on the confusion that is the pickup on Monday, is it on Wednesday, which day is it? Because if they see trucks out on Tuesday, they keep putting trash out. So I don't know if any of the commissioners would like to say something, but we've been at this with Waste Pro forever and ever and ever today. I don't think this is the first meeting that we've had. This is not the first time I've expressed this concern. But I will tell you that frankly, I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of receiving complaints. Yaima logs in.
About 80 a week. Well, you see them on Track Easy.
Vega is instructed every Monday afternoon and then Tuesday morning as soon as he comes in to log how many of the bulk waste pickups are picked up. But it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have to take so much time of our time and resources to make sure that you guys are doing your job correctly. It should be seamless. The garbage business should be a seamless problem that we are not looking at, and we have to constantly and every week address
It's not getting picked up until Tuesday, and our bulk pickup is on Mondays. So it needs to be, it needs to start on Monday, it needs to be completed by Monday. But you guys are not starting until Tuesdays. So that's a big issue.
It's open for me. You can speak whatever you like.
Yes. Neil, Jason didn't come in today, no?
Yes, here, it's right there in the third row.
Nice to see you. Yeah. And Commissioner Eduardo Suarez, just like Mayor Lopez explained, I am tired of getting complaints from residents and complaints of myself because I'm also a resident. The main complaints are they leave the garbage in the middle of the street, they don't close the lid. Sometimes,
If I may clarify, I'm not with Waste Pro, though, just for the record.
He's with Waste
Yeah,
Management.
he's waste management.
Yeah. So I'm with
Waste
Waste Pro, so I'm
Pro,
yeah.
listening.
and your name please?
Kenny.
Kenny, all right. And Waste Management and Waste Pro are
Competitors.
related?
Competitors.
Oh,
Independent, we are
competitors.
competitors.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wayne Huizinga, right?
He started the company many years ago,
Oh.
yes. No longer involved.
Yeah, Neil's in the third row listening to the complaints.
Yeah, that's all. I'm just observing.
It's amazing making so many $millions on garbage, eh? He became a millionaire on what people throw away. Anyway, going back, Kenneth.
Yes, sir.
Lids left open, rains, water gets into the tank. I said already, the container left in middle of the street, a broken wheel, maybe they hit it with a curb or something, broken wheel of a container. Garbage, pieces of garbage left on the street because it fell there, they didn't pick it up. Also, as Jaima was saying, and I've been calling her more than a couple of times, they don't come sometimes the day they have to come, and then we have to call it next morning, and then they come, we assume that they come because we complain. And we also have another regulation. Here we have Inspector Vega. The garbage is supposed to be put out the day before after certain time. And the day of the pickup is supposed to be retrieved back to the lot, before a certain time. So when you leave it there all night to the next day, theoretically, we are subject to a fine. Of course, if we get a fine because of that, I guess there is a defense. But now the resident has to put time, waste time, visit them, and we shouldn't have those problems. Like the mayor says, we shouldn't be putting all that time and energy with all these problems. I invited one resident that sent me a text early in the morning that he couldn't come in. He came last week, but he couldn't come in today because today is his birthday. And he said that you had been at the house because he had called and complained, and he has pictures of the service dumping the green can and the blue can, the garbage
That's
and the
Borges.
recycle.
Borges.
Borges,
David Borges.
David Borges, Borges. I have seen the pictures. He showed them to me on the same truck, mixing recycling and garbage. He also showed me pictures of paint on the street because he said that the truck was leaking paint. I mentioned to him that the paint is not supposed to be thrown in the garbage. The paint is supposed to be taken to Northwest 58th Street, Miami-Dade County. Paint, chemicals, computers. But I know that Waste Pro have no control if a resident put a can of paint inside the container. But then the truck shouldn't leak the paint. So it's a little bit of, let's say, fault of the resident dumping paint and the trucks leaking the material that is in there. He showed me pictures of leakage of oil also from the trucks on the street where he lives. And
What street is this?
You can get that to him because I know that
it's
Borges is probably the person that logs in the most amount of complaints
Yeah.
about the service.
is
But I think this happened a while back, right? It's nothing
that
recent.
happens a while back, yeah, but he
Yeah,
got
I'd still
big,
like to see it.
Mhm.
yeah.
Just backing up the,
I'll
Yeah,
forward
it was
to
one of
you.
the trucks had a hydraulic leak down the street, and you guys came back and
Yeah.
did pressure wash the street and everything.
Okay, it's either 3rd Street or 5th Street. I'm working on my memory, right? Between 114th Avenue and 115th Avenue.
Well, but it's definitely not third. It's either fifth or sixth. It's up
It-
there.
it-
It's
then
close,
it-
to,
then-
it's close to the canal.
That is 5th. And I think it's 114, 39 or 89. I'm sorry,
I'll see it.
yeah. Maybe, wait a minute. Maybe I have it here. Oh, yes. 11439 Southwest 5th Street. Telephone number 305-215-9974. He has a lot of pictures from you and the service and a lot of complaints that goes back sometime, but he's got them all kept and recorded. So please, improve your service. We were gonna raise the garbage collection to $439, which is what the county charged, but because of our budget problem, the commission decided, including me, not to raise it and keep it at the $375 of what it is now. But if we are forced, we're gonna have to go back to Miami-Dade County and pay more, I know. But one of the main reasons, according to the previous mayor, why we went to private service is to save money. That's why you're here, because we wanted to save money. You gave us a better price, but we were expecting a good service. So please provide us with a good service. Thank you. Anything you have to say?
Well, yeah, I appreciate you know, your candor and the information that we're getting, and of course, we've met with the mayor a few times in regards to the service. But there's just 4 bullet points that I'd like to make, you know, and that first one is that we understand the importance of providing not only the good service, but exceeding the expectation of our, you know, our customers, you know, in the city of Sweetwater, not only from a commission standpoint, but also, and I think more importantly, the residential, you know, standpoint, because they're the ones that are, you know, seeing it every single day. We obviously, you know, get the calls just as much as you get the calls, we get the calls, you get, and then plus we get the calls that they call us direct. So we totally understand, you know, the frustration that's happening, you know, presently. So we look at this as a partnership with not only, you know, us, but, you know, Waste Pro with the city. And the other point I like to make is it is critically important that, yes, it's supposed to be a transparent, seamless service, you know, on a day-to-day basis. It's not something that you need to think about. You put it out there, it gets picked up when it's supposed to get picked up, and you don't even, you know, put even one iota of a thought to it. But in the instances that it does occur where there has to be some elevated level of awareness, you know, I think the key is communicating between our staff and your city staff to understand the reasons why things are happening, and not that we're creating any excuses on that, because I'm in agreement with you that things have not been where they needed to be now for, you know, at least since I've been involved here for the last, you know, 3 to 4 months. But I believe that, you know, I can't change what happened in the past. I can change what can happen today and the rest of the time that we're with the city. That you definitely not only have the commitment of Russell Mackey, who was here last week, but also, and this came directly from the horse's mouth, the owner of the company. You know, we're a privately owned company, that whatever is needed to be done here in the city it will be done. That being said, we do anticipate the communication between us and city staff to, you know, be a lot more than just using, you know, trackies, which is a system that we use to log complaints, to understand what's going on out in the road. I can tell you that this morning, you know, I was driving around the city looking at things. Right off the back, there are a couple of things that we would like to bring, you know, not here, but to your attention, just so that you said, look, we ran into this issue here. This is what we would like for you to be aware of, so in case you get a call. The issues that occur here from a bulk standpoint, I have no excuse for the garbage. We missed the garbage. That shouldn't happen. I mean, the garbage is and the recycling should not happen at all, because it's a routine, same guy, same truck, every single day. But as it relates to the bulk, you know, there have been some increases in volumes, and that's not only unique to Sweetwater, but also all over Dade County. And we have to provide the equipment and the assets that is needed to make up for, you know, that increased volume. I drove around today. I didn't see anything out there that is out of the norm. So there should be really, outside of some massive, you know, will of God to happen, there should be no reason why we should not be finished. And if we're going to not pick up something, that is incumbent upon him and myself to communicate it over to staff so that everybody's aware not that we don't want to pick it up, but we want to make sure that everybody knows that there is a reason why this was left. It's going to be a situation where we have to not only deal with what's in front of us, but also what has occurred in the past. A lot of the times, you know, things will get better and they get better, and then there's a slight hiccup, and then all of a sudden everything that ever occurred in the back comes right back up, and then here we go again. So that's kind of like the battle that we're going to be going through, you know, now. So, Commissioner, I agree with you 100%. We shouldn't be here sitting down, you know, discussing this type of things when it could have just been done right the first time. Like I said, you know, Russell Mackey, you have his commitment, but the commitment came down straight from, you know, the horse's mouth, which is John Jennings, that he will do whatever it takes to get the service down at Sweetwater where it needs to be. Not only where it needs to be, but better than what it needs to be.
And what you just said a minute ago is true. We get complaints in 1 week, and then we pass it to Yaima, the mayor, and then it gets better for the next 2 weeks.
For a month or
And
so.
then, or a month. And then it just dump again, you know, to the same thing.
You know,
So please.
let's say about 2 months ago, I met with Billy, and service was great for 2 weeks.
Yep.
It declined immediately after that. You know, Billy was here, and I'd see him driving around and right behind all the trucks. But the moment that supervision is done, the service lacked again.
Yeah, and that,
And it shouldn't be
that's-
like that. It should be transparent, it should be
should
seamless, that we're expecting the same level of service all the time.
100%.
And I've expressed it over and over and over and over, it's just really gotten out of control. It's just consistently getting worse.
Do you
And,
have a piece
and
of-
I'll give you an example. Today, I briefly went by a few places. I did see 1 or 2 places with oversized piles. But one example here, 113th Avenue between Flagler and First Street, and Second Street. The truck was there, the rear loader picked up everything else and left that mailbox behind.
Okay. Was that out for, like, in a pile, or that was just a?
That was out there with other stuff. They picked up the other stuff and they left that
Oh,
mailbox
so
behind.
it was a big pile, it was just in, it wasn't just the mailbox there?
No,
Okay,
it was a couple
whole-
more
okay.
things, and they picked up everything else, the real order was there, and they left that mailbox behind. And these are things like that always are
Now, you know, the mailbox though, the guys come back to me with some items like that, and I always tell them, if you feel that there's a possibility that that's a good item that shouldn't be picked up, so you use your own
It's
judgment
broken,
on it.
it's broken. A car ran into it.
Okay, it's a
broken.
mailbox.
There's
It's-
2 pieces, the concrete, little piece that holds it, and then the top of the.
All right, but that wasn't intentional on his part.
No, no, what happens, and again, we wanna be looking at that, and I'm just taking notes on my phone just so that you understand, so, specifically, and I'll address the mailbox specifically, you know, there are many times, and it happens in our industry every single day, where mailboxes, you know, the driver, you know, sees it on the ground, he says, I didn't do this, you know, I'm gonna call it in, you know, so they're kind of hesitant when it comes to stuff like that, and I understand that was part of a bulk pile.
Yeah, but there's no mailbox.
There's
on
no
that
mailbox on
block.
the whole
Block.
street.
So we wanna make sure that, you know, we'll send the guy back to go get it.
And the issue with that is that people then think bulk was not collected, I
Yeah.
can continue putting stuff
Correct,
out.
correct.
Because they see that little one item there.
Correct, no, and I agree with you 100%, you know, you leave a one piece and then, you know, and it must have been, you know, it could be a large pile and they leave that one piece and it's up, you didn't pick it up, and we're at that point where we can't afford even to leave a leaf, you know what I'm saying, at this point, that's kind of where we're at right now, so.
Which is pretty much what happens when the bulk doesn't get collected on Mondays. People see stuff out, they continue to put more stuff out, and then I get an email from you guys that it's an oversized pile. And it happened to Commissioner Maroño's house like 3 weeks ago. She had a little pile of leaves, and the next day it wasn't picked up. She had a door, a mattress, because people see it there and they dump stuff.
Okay.
Anybody else want to add anything?
To them individually on last week, okay.
Oh, you know, we saw today, and, hey, just clarify, on the bricks and the cinder blocks, the guys went to go pick up a bag, was up towards 100, and he started on 116th working this way, and he went to go pick up the bag, and of course it broke.
I can understand that construction
That's
debris, you're not gonna pick it up.
Construction debris, that's
You
right.
leave it.
And that's, but again, that's something, like I mentioned, it happened, we should be on the horn with Yaima or, Mr. Vega, say, hey, look, this.
So we can address it that same
Exactly,
day.
Exactly, because if
Because you
it,
guys
if it
have
goes
the-
unaddressed, that little bag with by the time you get there, there's gonna be a whole bunch more stuff on there, and then we're like, well, wait a minute, we were there. So that's why I think the key is in the communication, and even if we have to over communicate to the point where, we inundate, on both sides, you
Mhm.
communicate, we communicate with you, that will not hurt at this point, and that's something that we have to do until we are at where we need to be in terms of the service level.
Yeah, the other issue that we're having is that you guys are not picking up anything that's over 6 cubic yards. This has never been enforced here. The residents are not aware of it. For some reason, it's being enforced now, like 4 years into the contract. We've been with you guys already. And the residents are asking me what was provided to them initially. So I know I had sent you an email. Have you been able to find anything?
Yes, so I didn't find anything that went back to 2012 in terms of what was provided, but I do know that in our actual contract is 4 yards, but we go up to 6 yards, which is
Mhm.
a pretty decent sized pile. What I was hoping to do is start the process of leaving information at the end of the day with yourself or Yaima in terms of these are the piles that, now again, today I didn't see anything that we would consider oversized pile.
Oh, there's a couple out there.
But I think that we need to get together so we can either A, create another informational flyer so that we can send out to the residents. And I think that's important because after 4 years, after 4 years, there's been some, move-ins and new residents come in and stuff like that, so they're not aware of what the regulations are. I think that's something that I think we have to do in terms of, sending it out to the residents, and then putting a process together so that when those instances happen where there is an oversized, and when I mean oversized, I'm not talking 7 yards, I'm talking grossly oversized, 10, 12 yards. Where you could clearly see it's beyond that measurement, then that's so those are so far few in between that those are the ones that we would want to put a tag on it, to look something, something.
Because I know last week I got a list of
Yeah.
some properties that you guys
Yeah.
were attacking, and I actually went out with code enforcement and we measured them, and they were not over 6. I'm talking about they were like 4, 3, 1, and they were being tagged as oversized over 6 cubic yards.
Okay. So again,
So I will go out and measure it.
we ran into this issue, let's say in the town of Biscayne Village, Biscayne Park, where there was a situation where we say it's oversized, they go to measure, it's not, they measured it. So there's a way of measuring a pile. Again, 1 cubic yard is 3 by 3 by 3. So what we decided to do was take a picture of a pile that we would both agree that, okay, if it fits this mold, okay, then that will not be oversized. And I think if we could get that to that point where we say, okay, a pile like this, anything bigger than this type of pile, we would tag and send it over to you, and then put that picture somehow in the flyer that we would send out. Say, okay, anything that's bigger than this, I think would go a long way in the communication part of it, and then it takes away the whole having to go in there with a ruler and that
Well,
kind of
we
stuff.
have a flyer that we started with Gerlin. The only thing we were waiting
It
for
never
was
materialized.
it was a mailing list from you guys of the properties that you guys service. And then she
The
left.
flyers are getting
but
designed.
the flyer is pretty much
Pretty much done, because Berlin had agreed, we're gonna send it out again to the residents to make sure we communicate that bulk waste is on Monday. Your level of service with the green cans is Monday and Thursday, your recycling is every other Tuesday with the calendar in there. It was all being worked on and installed.
Sorry, but do you have a copy of that?
I can email it to you.
Yeah, that would be
We'll have a
great.
PDF on the computer, and that
Yeah.
would have been a great information piece so the residents get it, but again,
Yeah.
it was the lack of follow-up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ken, I sent out an email. Because
Okay.
I know there's a lot of people that are confused about that. One real quick point, Mike, the way you was talking about Biscayne Park. Biscayne Park, we have a perfect system in place, and it's very simple. On Monday, whatever isn't picked up, what we consider an oversized pile, we actually take pictures of it, we send it to the village, And what they do is their code enforcement, they go out and they measure them and they tell the residents what the price is gonna be. And on Wednesday, we come out and we do the oversized pickup. And they authorize us which ones to pick up, and we pick them up, and the other ones, sometimes the resident will say, no, I'll go ahead and take care of it myself. And it's a good system, it works really well. Because when you were mentioning 1 yard,
Yeah, but
2
we would
yards.
have to notify them.
Right,
You know, we
exactly.
can't just enforce it when they've never even
Well,
been notified.
that's why I got
of
the
it.
guys putting the tags out right now, they're actually hanging the tags
And I'm
up
getting
on
a
the
lot of
doors.
calls about that because you're telling me
Right.
I've lived here for 30 years and I've never had, I've never been notified of this and my house has never
We
been
don't
tagged.
even know an ordinance on that.
So that's
So
the
that-
Well, up
problem.
until recently, we had clamp trucks around picking
So,
up.
so that's what my point.
20, 25
we gotta,
yard piles.
there's fragmented things that are happening. So we have to put it all together. I think the flyer is key. Number one thing to get done and it done yesterday. So the quicker I can get it, the more I can add to it. That would be great. And then once the flyer gets out, what I keep getting confused on is the list of people that we will send it to. Typically what happens is in any city, wherever you send, like for example, the water bill, for example, who do you guys bill for water?
Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade.
Miami-Dade County does that. So, what do you mail anything to any of the residents in Sweetwater? So everything's done, okay, so I have to get the list of addresses that.
That you guys
That you
service.
service.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily the whole city, because you've got any of your condos or townhouses,
Yeah.
units are out there commercial,
Yeah.
so they're not gonna have, they don't
Right.
use your service.
Okay,
So you guys have that
yeah,
list.
okay, no problem. No prob- and again, I feel really confident that starting with that project first will help go a long way, but ultimately, we just gotta get the stuff off the ground.
But this was an attempt to fix it.
No, I
but I get
understand. Yeah, I understand.
Lack of follow through.
Yep, I understand.
Okay. Well, commissioners, we got a commitment from them. Let's see how long they keep it to it this time.
We are hoping that it will work.
No, I can tell you, I've been down this road before, and I know that there's certain things that need to happen, for it to get better, because ultimately, doesn't matter if it's Waste Pro, whoever it is, it's gotta get fixed. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm sure, we don't, having to go backwards, when you guys have gone forward for so long, does nobody any good whatsoever. So, like I said, you definitely have, the commitment of not only mine and Bill's, but the owner of the company's commitment to make sure that we get this right.
There was an anomaly a month or two ago. It was the week of the storm, and you guys missed for an area. I can understand, let's say that a truck did not drive down one street, so he didn't service, one block on either side. But it was an area of like 3 blocks by 5 blocks, so 18 blocks did not get service. They didn't get service on Tuesday for the recycling, or the following day for the garbage. It was just missed. And I remember that I spoke to Billy about it, and I think I screamed at Billy about it. I can see a block being missed. Driver screwed up, but not 3 by 5 blocks.
No.
15 blocks.
No.
And they missed it on Tuesday, and then again the following Wednesday or Thursday on the garbage. It's just, I don't see how it's happened. How do you explain it to people? How do you?
You don't. I screwed up.
Yeah.
There's no explanation. There's no anything other than it was a total breakdown in our scheduling and our under awareness of what
And then
needs to
that
happen
week,
every day.
when the truck finally did make it here to do the pickup, it made it down here at 4 o'clock. It serviced about 2 or 3 blocks and broke down. And then we didn't get 2 more trucks for probably another
Like
2 or
6,
3 hours,
7
or 6
o'clock
o'clock, 7 o'clock that day.
Yeah. No, I remember that week. I was knee deep in it, and
Right.
so yeah, there's no explanation other than it was our screw up, and won't happen again. I can tell you that much. Not like that. Not like that.
Well, not at all.
Well, no, not at all, but definitely not like that.
Anything else? Anybody else? Thank you all for coming.
Thank
Kenneth.
you.
Thank you, Billy.
Appreciate it.
Yep.